Welcome back to Carnage Unleashed. This is the first episode of 2025. Hope you guys had a good new year. As always, you got Clayton and Kev, and we got a new face here, Zach.
What's going on?
How your guys' year been? Past year, I guess, or New Year's.
Good. It was great. Blessed for everything I have. Blessed for everything that's coming. All right, boys.
Absolutely. I was on vacation. I left a couple days after we worked our last show in December. So I traded the sunny skies of Florida for the blizzard we got going on this week. So that's back to reality. I think good reality check coming back, but overall had a good break. Kev, how was the end of 2024?
It was pretty good for me as well. Got a little R&R out in the sun as well. So I'm good. I'm good and rested, ready to be back. 2025 is going to be a hell of a year. I didn't wait 3 minutes to say that, so my apologies to bosses over at YouTube. But we've got quite a first quarter. That's what I'm real excited for. I haven't had a chance to do any play-by-play commentary in some time because I also took a trip. And the day that I left was the day of our last pay-per-view. So I haven't worked in a really long time, guys, and I'm ready to call some action again here in the next month or so. Wade, what about you, boss? How was your end of year and beginning of this one?
It was pretty good. Nice. I could tell I'm in my 30s now because it was just relaxing on the couch, watching some movies with my dog. My wife left me with her parents down to D.C., so I was not invited on the New Year's trip.
Nice.
But I want to introduce everybody to Zach. Zach, tell everybody who you are.
So I am one of the co-founders here at Carnage Media. Was a former pro fighter. I only had one, so nothing too spectacular there. I had a good run as an AME. I had a blast doing that, running around Ohio, fighting. I'm a stand-up fighter, so my take's always going to be let's stand and bang. Not like Wade over here who wants to wrestle around on the ground and just hold. He's a holder. Yeah, I know you. So yeah, I'm just excited to jump on here and be a part of this with you guys. Give my take on some fights. Especially when we start doing our cards and we start breaking down all the cards and that. I'll be honest, most of the time I'm behind that camera, I don't know what's going on half the time. I'm too busy focusing on making sure I'm not in someone's way, not running into somebody. So I have to go back and watch all those fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so new face this year in 2025, and we're going to be kicking off with some good fights here. And we got Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas fight card this weekend. What are you guys thinking about this opening card of 2025 so far? Clayton?
So whenever you hear about a Mackenzie Dern fight night, I feel like generally speaking, the fan base is kind of like, ugh. Like, you know what I mean? Well, generally speaking, when she headlines a card, just saying historically, it hasn't been the most, we'll say, name-heavy, action-packed show that the UFC does, which is fine because there's a pay-per-view the week after that. But looking at this card, I'm honestly pretty happy with what I see for the most part. I see a handful of names that I recognize. We'll dive into those here in a couple minutes. But realistically, this is a decent show to start off with at the Apex out in Las Vegas, starting with the very first fight. You got Nurilo Aliyev. He's a new guy. I don't remember him. But Joe Selecki's been around for a little bit. We actually worked a show on – you guys have all seen him fight, whether you know it or not. Last year during the show in Austin, he was the guy who threw up an armbar against Drakkar Klose, and he got picked up and like the side of his head slammed down on the mat. That was him. So I was like, I know that name from somewhere. So I looked him up, and that's where he's at. You got 24 versus 31. Obviously, that's reflected in the betting odds here. They have Joe Selecki at plus 450 and Nurilo at minus 725.
Ooh.
And he's not the biggest favorite on the card either, which is kind of wild. But moving forward, a couple of the names that stick out to me. The other one, we'll start with, scrolling up here, we have the action man, Chris Curtis, Extreme Couture guy. He's actually from Cincinnati. He's been around forever. Like I said, trains out of Extreme Couture. Him and Sean Strickland used to be buddies, but then he posted something on social media like, I'm tired of Sean Strickland being an asshole. I get it.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. But so I don't know what's going on there. But as far as I know, he's still at Extreme Couture versus Roman Kopylov, another up-and-coming fighter here at 185 pounds. Two stand-up guys. Last fight was against Cesar Almeida, who's on this card, and then has a loss against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. But, Wolfman, you'll like this one. He does have a knockout win over Josh Fremd.
Yes. I lost to Josh Fremd, if anyone wants to know. Yes, I lost to him for a state title, for the state Ohio title. So, love to see Josh Fremd go to. No, respect you, Josh. Nothing. No, I've got nothing against him.
But our first comment of the new year, guys. Thomas MMA says Chris Curtis is about to get. Are we 3 minutes in? Fucked up. Thomas.
See,
possible.
It is possible. It's the old guy versus the younger guy, and it's going to be a kickboxing match with 4-ounce gloves on, which is going to be a beauty. So, nonetheless, it's going to be eventful.
Just for all of you sports bettors at home, anytime you see more than 5 years difference in a fight, younger guy. Every single time, younger guy.
Hold on. Who was it just recently? Isn't he he was 41 years old, oldest guy in the UFC? Did he just win too?
Yeah.
Why can't I think of his name? Thank you.
Yeah, yep.
What was the age difference on that one though?
I don't know. What was that? Let me look it up. Let me fact check myself.
Exception proves the rule. Okay.
Jim Miller's been around forever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jim Miller's has fought on UFC 100, 200, and 300.
Yeah.
He'll be around for 400.
50. They'll be taking him out there and
slap fight portion of UFC 400 because Dana still won't have given up on that by then. I got it. We got the perfect thing to save slap fight. Oh, we're gonna put it into the UFC 400.
So he fought a guy named Damon Jackson, who's also been around forever. I believe, he's 36, and Jim Miller was 41. So I guess, Zach.
Ooh, it's right on that line. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But I remember that he threw up. I think he got him with a triangle, maybe. Let me see. I'm pretty sure that's what he got him with. Submission. You're not going to tell me? All right, whatever. I'm pretty sure he got him with a triangle. I
remember watching that fight. I just can't remember it. It
was the Jones versus Miocic show.
Yes.
And then last name I really, really want to shout out. We have kind of a connection to this guy, Cesar Almeida, Dylan Budka's first UFC opponent. He is the next fight after that. Taking on Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I think I got that right. He's from Ghana versus Brazil. Almeida comes in at a -270 favorite, so we'll see how that goes. Santiago Ponzinibbio's been around. He's lost 4 out of his last 5.
Really? So he had a pretty good record going on there for a while.
Yeah. He lost to, I think Kevin Holland knocked him out last year at one point. Let's pull up his record really quick. He's 38. He's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Holland. He has a win over Alex Morano, and then 2 split decision losses to Michel Pereira and Jeff Neal. So he's not out here fighting cans by any means, but you don't want to be 38 and 1-4 in your last 5 for sure.
That is so true.
That's pretty much all I have on here. Like I said, it's a little thinner.
Yeah, it is a little thinner. I was going to say, the Christian Rodriguez versus Austin Bashi. I watched a little bit of Christian Rodriguez. Austin Bashi I've never seen, but he's coming in 13-0. But what I do know about Christian Rodriguez is that he's been put up against a couple of zeros coming into the fight, and he is giving them their first loss. So he is the underdog, but he's done it twice.
Plus 210.
Including he took away the youngest guy in the UFC's Raul Rosas Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I recognized his name from somewhere. That was his first loss. First and only loss as of right now.
Yeah.
The Chiwiwis guy for anybody who's
how is Rodriguez finish? Is he finishing people? Is he going the distance?
No, he's out there finishing guys. He has 7 finishes with 11 wins. So that's pretty solid.
The reason I ask is because the fight odds for it going the distance is -175 for yes.
He's got 3 knockouts and 4 subs, so
and 5 first-round finishes.
Solid all around.
Yeah, well, plus 1,000 for KO. Okay.
You got to make their money somehow, right?
Yeah, so he's a solid guy. So that should be a good one. Could if you want to bet there, statistics have shown for him that he's taken away some O's.
What are you going to go with on this one, Clayton? You gonna go for gonna take the odds on that one or no?
If I was a betting man, just looking, if we're talking strictly based off of records, if I had $20, you got 23 years old Austin Bashi. He's got a little bit of a reach disadvantage. He's got 70 inches versus 71.5, so nothing crazy there. But you got to think, Christian Rodriguez has been around for a minute now. There's
some good guys.
His takedown accuracy is actually pretty good. He's got a 66% takedown accuracy.
Yeah. And this will be Austin Bashi's debut, so.
He's a ground guy because his sub average is 3.64. That's higher. I mean, that's higher than Rodriguez's too. So I take it. Do you think this fight's gonna go to the ground then?
Probably, or it one of two things is gonna happen. This is gonna turn into a wrestling match, or like we've seen in the past, like with the Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington, 2 guys that know how to grapple aren't gonna be able to take each other down, so they're gonna stand and bang.
Which
either way, I'm thinking realistically, the money on a finish isn't great. Obviously, if they're favored to go, or the money for them to go to a distance isn't great at -175. I'm leaning Austin Bashi solely because 13-0, a little bit younger. It's the power of the unknown, right? Guys that haven't been in the UFC yet. We don't really know what you can do until you're at the big show. Like example, Khabib. Yeah, he's 29-0, but before he got to the UFC, he was fighting guys that were 1-9, 2-12. He's not fighting guys with winning records. I don't know if that's the same thing with Austin Bashi, but you never know until you get to the big show.
That's true. That's true.
On a side note, I just want to highlight Thomas's comment on here. He says, Islam is 5 years older than Arman. Do you think Arman's going to win? What do you think about that, Clayton?
No, because Arman hasn't gotten any better.
Yeah, I don't think so. Islam is in a league of his own right now, although I guess for a fight to see, kind of fast forward into what our next segment is going to be, we'll backtrack to the main event here. I want to see Islam versus Charles Oliveira again next year.
Yes.
Well, hey, that's a good thing we should get into is what's your hot takes for 2025? What is it that what fights do you want to see coming up here? And what are your hot takes on this year's fighting? Since you're talking about what you want to see here, Wade.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be a couple changes. I think if Charles gets another shot, I think he can pull it off and beat Islam. That's going to be great. I really want to see that one. I also I know he doesn't want it. John Jones versus
Yup.
Tom Aspinall.
That I think that's what everyone wants to see.
Hot take. That's the only fight that matters in 2025.
Agreed.
That
Hot take. Someone needs to beat John Jones, damn it. Sorry.
Well, my thing is, yeah, John Jones is that guy. He's been proven to be that guy. But one advantage that nobody's talking about in regards to Tom Aspinall is there's like no film out there on Tom because he finishes guys quick. There's a lot of film out there on John Jones. And one of John Jones' big things talks about preparation. He studies his opponents. He uses a lot of film. He takes his time. He studies guys, finds out what their ticks are. There's not a crazy amount of film on Tom for a guy that has an interim championship. He's out there finishing guys, and he's finishing guys quick. Thomas MMA commented again, if Charles Oliveira fights Islam, like how he fought Michael Chandler, he could probably win. Yeah, I'd say that's probably objectively true. He controlled Michael Chandler pretty much the whole time until the 5th round. So
yeah, I think as long as he doesn't get caught like he did in the first one, I think he'll be all right. If he gets caught, then Islam has shown he's not afraid like most everybody in the division is to get on the ground and grapple with him. So
right.
Charles can stay clear-headed, not get caught, and fights like he fought with Michael Chandler. I think he can pull it off, and I want him to pull it off because I love Charles Oliveira. I like his story. He's such a respectable guy.
Yeah, he's done it the right way.
And I'm tired of Russians or Dagestan, whatever. They're taking over, man. They're a different breed over there.
It's that wrestling, man.
When you're out fighting bears instead of playing video games at 9 years old, that tends to make you a pretty good wrestler, I think.
Yeah. I still like that. What's that clip? I think, Wade, I've shown it to you how many times of who is it? I can't think of his name right now. Talking with DC about sending his kid, like, 3 years, send your kid over.
It was Islam.
And DC's like, 3 years? You're what?
He's like, send him over, forget.
He's like, was it? He's like 6 months. 6 months. He's like 3 months. He's like, or 1 month is what DC says. And he goes, 6 months and you get one phone call? One phone call.
I mean, have you ever watched their training videos?
Oh, it's disgusting. Their mats afterwards.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
that's
just like someone sprayed a hose on the mats.
It's like staff waiting to happen. It's just they know how to win too. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like they're out there. Like, an example I would honestly like to point to now, Tony Ferguson training with David Goggins. Is that realistically going to help Tony Ferguson win fights? No. I ran up a mountain and did 1 million push-ups. Yeah, good for you. He's still got his butt kicked. So we can move on from that. But my fight that I want to see in 2025, I have one fight and then I have one hot take. My fight, I want to see Dan Hooker, Max Holloway for the BMF belt. That is my choice. I want to see Dan Hooker.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Fight Max Holloway. Dan Hooker, for those of you who don't know, he's from New Zealand. He's a very much so a stand-up kickboxer type guy. He's been in there with some of the best. He's fought Islam. He had a crazy, crazy fight with Dustin Poirier at the Apex. That one's out there for free on ESPN's YouTube. Would highly recommend go watching that. It's just, and yeah, Dan Hooker's been in there with some of the best guys. He fought Michael Chandler too. So I would love to see Dan Hooker get in there and see if he can stand and bang with Max Holloway. That would be, because that's what the BMF title is, right? You don't want a guy that's going to go in there and shoot takedowns on Max to take his title. That's not
the point of the belt.
That should be a disqualification, I think. Like, if you do that, that's like, to pull from wrestling, that'd be like winning by count out, right? Like, if you're going into the BMF and you win because of takedowns and like control time and stuff, like, disqualified, dude. You're out of here.
The standard is Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. That is the standard for the BMF belt.
it's just, and that fight obviously won everybody's knockout of the year award. I think
for sure.
That's pretty. How can you beat that?
Yeah,
Just the story around it.
and on UFC 300.
Yeah, biggest show of all time. Jumps up a weight class. Everybody, including me, thinks he's going to get his butt kicked because Justin Gaethje throws crazy leg kicks. He's a crazy powerful, all that good stuff. Max beats him pretty good. I had it 4-1, I think, at the end. Last 10 seconds gave Justin a chance to win and knocked him out.
Mm-hmm. I like to point out, I did not turn our back on our boy Max Holloway. I had faith.
Hey, I respect it. I respect it.
He
I'll
was
be the first one to admit that I thought
I was going to say, I was right there with you. Yep.
100%.
Mm-mm.
And then my MMA hot take is Alex Pereira will be the UFC light heavyweight champion at this time next year. There's not a chance in hell Magomed Ankalaev beats him. No way.
No. Oof. I would agree with that point. I think Alex is just on a tear. He's in a different universe in the light heavyweight division. He is just, I love it too because he's down to fight whenever, wherever, at a drop of a dime. Like, I love that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And people hear Ankalaev and they're like, oh, he's just going to take Alex down. No, he's not. He has no wins by submission, and his only loss is by submission. Paul Craig submitted him, I'm pretty sure. So,
yes,
because of that, he's a striker. And there's nobody in MMA right now that is a better kickboxer than Alex Pereira. Nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
So that is my hot take. Alex Pereira will retain, and I would like to see Dan Hooker versus versus Max Holloway before the end of the year.
I like it. On a little bit of a different note, or actually, let's backtrack the main card. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. We got Mackenzie Dern 14-5 versus Amanda Ribas 13-5. They fought once before. Mm-hmm. Ribas is favored by, I'd say here, -198. And what's your thoughts on this? Do you think Mackenzie Dern can pull it off this time? The last time she lost pretty decidingly.
Right.
Clayton?
It's tough to say. You know, you have Mackenzie Dern, Brazilian. She has 7 submission wins. She's going to go in there and try and use her jiu-jitsu. That's what she's known for. She's never won a fight by knockout. She's going to try and get in there, use her jiu-jitsu. Whereas Ribas is a little bit more balanced. She has 8 stoppage wins, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. But her chin's also a little bit more tested. She's been knocked out 3 times. So it depends on how you look at it. Personally, I'd like to give the edge to Amanda Ribas here a little bit, just because she's a little bit more dynamic. I haven't seen enough on the feet from Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah, that's my critique right there. Is I saw a training video. She's working on stand up, but when it does not translate into the octagon, her stand up is just atrocious in there. She's one tough motherfucker though.
Yeah, she is.
I forget who she was fighting, but she was taking a beating, but she just kept coming till the ref stopped it. But jiu-jitsu wise, one of the best out there, if not the best. Like, she's got really, really good jiu-jitsu, but she can't take her opponents down to get to that.
She's got a horrible, horrible takedown accuracy, 16.92%.
Yeah,
that is garbage.
That's not what you want to do.
No, especially if you're a jiu-jitsu person.
Like 1-6?
That's
6-0.
That's like me, Wade, in my takedown accuracy. Okay, that's how bad that is, and that is terrible.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up, Wolfman. I did, in fact, for those of you out there, I found a video titled a tribute to Zach Dominique on Demolition Fight Team's YouTube channel. Crazily enough. Crazy, right? And it was this guy who like was kind of looked like he was holding on to his hair a little bit. It was like real thin through here, but we can move on from that.
Had he
In
had
there
the Jude
knocking
Law
guys
going?
out who had a couple of takedowns and a couple of submission finishes. Just saying. He looked a lot like you, Zach. I don't know if that was you, but
I think I only have 2 submission finishes in my entire career. Well, I don't know. Do you count tapping by punches a submission?
nah, that's a KO.
Okay, that's a KO.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Well, but I've got Ribas in this. I watched their last fight, and I feel like Ribas is just going to keep it on the feet like she did last time. She's going to keep her. She's going to use her distance. She's got 3 inches on her. She's going to use that because she's got 66, while Dern is with 63 reach. And she's going to do what she did last fight. She's going to keep her distance. Dern's going to come in for a takedown. She's going to block. She's going to defend against the takedown. And then maybe every once in a while she'll throw some of her judo in there that she's got. She's going to, hip toss her, be on top for a little bit, hold her down because that's basically what she did last time. She might do some more on her, but I just see Ribas just basically staying with a stand-up game.
Yeah.
Because it worked for her last time. Why fix it if it's broken?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But, man, if Mackenzie Dern could have some stand-up, she would be so freaking lethal.
And Wade, that fight that you were talking about, that was Jessica Andrade.
Andrade, yes.
Yep. That was at an MSG show. I knew that sounded familiar because I watched that fight too. That was a Yuri versus Pereira headliner, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, just
she got
see
worked in there, but it showed her toughness there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
On other news, did you hear about the potential fight with Conor McGregor and Logan Paul?
Yes. That is targeted for April. It's going to happen in April is what they're saying. In India. And the purse is going to be about $250 million.
Yeah, $100 billion. Yeah.
Imagine.
All that for a totally not choreographed fight.
Listen, I think
absolutely be completely and 100% competitive. Sorry, Zach, go ahead.
No, listen, I think it's good for McGregor. It's a night because let's be honest, he is not ready to step back into the octagon. He's just not. With him dealing with his legal issues outside of everything, him not even probably working out most of the time, him sitting there thinking he's going to start getting into politics. I mean, the man's mind is anywhere. Oh yeah, you didn't know that? He wanted to run for the presidency in Ireland.
I can't wait to hear him in his first debate.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Well, I'm not, yeah. What
just strutting down. But
people ask for government assistance. There is no check. Sorry.
His mind is not in the fight game. So maybe this is good for him. It's kind of the middle ground of entertainment, pure entertainment, and he's gonna have to actually train a little bit. It's not like he cannot train for it. He doesn't want to look like an idiot going. I don't know how many rounds they're going, but I'm gonna guess probably around 10. They're not gonna go 12. So you're probably going to go 10 rounds. So you're still got to be in shape. Logan Paul is still a very good athlete. I mean, he's got to train to be in the WWE. That's not something that you just sit on your couch and not train for. So the kid's athletic. He's got some endurance, which McGregor probably doesn't have any because he's been sitting on his ass doing what? Well,
he's been
dealing
binging.
with
That's
lawsuits.
what he's been doing.
He's been getting some thumb workouts on Twitter.
What's new there? His jaw is always getting a workout because he's always yapping it. But
it's getting hard to continue to entertain the McGregor stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It's just
agreed.
Like you said, with all the crap he has going on outside of the octagon right now, it's in my mind, it's becoming less and less likely that we see him again.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Well,
And I honestly, I don't know that I really don't think that we will, because I don't think he's got it anymore. I think the hole is too deep for him to climb out of, and he's got too much pride, and he's more marketable if he doesn't come back and get his teeth kicked in and get knocked out in the first round, right? Like doing stuff like this is pretty safe. I will withhold my opinions on the Tyson-Jake Paul fight and whether or not Mike Tyson was paid to explicitly not knock that guy out, but I digress. I don't think that Conor's a good enough boxer for it to maybe be required for these two to work together as much. I don't remember him getting too much good in on the Mayweather fight, right? I don't remember looking at that and be like, wow, Conor really can box a little bit, can he? So I don't know. This feels like it's going to be a 10-round slap fight. That we're just going to see how good the hype machine is. Is this going to be put on Netflix again? Like, would anyone really pay money for this? This has to go to a streaming service, right? No one's going to pay $60 for this.
No,
absolutely
no.
not. Especially not after that Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah, dude, what? Right, exactly. And it's an exhibition, so it's really just like, man, I kind of feel bad for India. You guys don't feel like they're getting ripped off? Right. They're paying these guys. Like, that's probably enough. You could build a space program around what you're going to pay these two to come in. And you know what this will be good for, guys, is Conor McGregor's inevitable future, in which he will face Logan Paul again in the squared circle, probably in Riyadh, Saudi. Is that right? Yeah, he's going to be at the Crown Jewel event one day, suplexing Logan Paul into the announce table. That's where McGregor has a future, because he can still cut a promo and he can still look the part, even if he might be a bit puffy and red. You know, he might be a little swollen, but a lot of the guys in that business.
And he can cycle with steroids too.
He's going to be more blown up than the Ultimate Warrior. He's going to have 90-second matches because he can't run or walk, but, you know, he'll look right and people will hate him. And they'll love to put a belt on him so people can boo him endlessly. Conor is made for that business. I feel like he has a job waiting for him, especially now after the merger.
I agree.
You can always use a good heel in wrestling. People need somebody to hate.
He'd be, like you said, he'd be perfect for that role.
I don't know about you guys, but when I was watching, did you guys watch the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight? Did you guys sit down and watch it?
Sadly, yes. Cool. Yeah.
About round 5, I had a bunch of people over to my apartment. There were probably 20 people over. We were just messing around watching it. And I'm standing there and I'm thinking, we are all victims of the single greatest marketing machine of all time.
It was.
This is the smartest thing I've ever seen anybody do, because guess what? Everybody in America is watching this. And guess what? He's fighting a 58-year-old man. 58. Yep.
Who keeps biting his glove a lot for some reason instead of like throwing right crosses.
Because he thought it was an ear, okay?
Yeah.
Or he's like, I won't get paid if I throw this punch. I won't get paid if I throw this punch.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but there's so many punches that I saw there that, like, the man never threw an uppercut. Nope. And that was his bread and butter when he was boxing. Let's be honest. It wasn't just those hooks. It was that uppercut. None of those thrown. How many overhand rights did you really see him throw?
I saw him stop himself a few times when it looked like Jake wasn't playing good defense, and he was like, "Oh, I probably shouldn't throw that." For that,
and he stopped.
I feel like he hit him a good one in the first, and that's when Jake was up against the ropes and really back behind it. And, he was just like, oh, come on, calm down, big guy.
Calm down, big guy.
Easy killer.
The sun is setting. The sun is setting, Hulk. The sun is setting.
Cameras are still on, dude.
Yeah. It's like now that whole, the pre-show, like the week or two or a day or two before, when he's like, I don't care about legacy. Legacy is stupid. I just care for my children. It's like, well, I get it now. Tyson even knew then. He's like, yeah, I don't care about what's legacy. I'm about to get paid to do a job. All right. Tyson worked a couple WrestleManias. He this wasn't his first time.
He knows how it is.
Speaking of old WrestleMania, I think it's about time for the Wrestling Minute. And there was a Monday Night Raw special on Netflix.
Oh, yes, the very first Netflix, they finally get to start making back some of that $5 billion they've paid the WWE to have the global rights to Raw. So that was an interesting thing, you know, an international broadcast. They brought all the big cameras to this thing, all the bells and whistles for all the people who were worried after Tyson Paul that, oh shit, Netflix is not going to be able to handle these live sporting events. They did a great job. Something that all of us know a little something about, right? Like we do on a much lesser scale. We do this virtually every weekend. So it was impressive. It was treated like a pay-per-view, to be fair. And it was at in the Intuit Dome. So one of the top 5 largest domes in America. So don't be fooled, new wrestling fans that were previous Netflix subscribers. That is not going to be the Raw product you get every Monday. No way is it going to stay up to that standard. But it was a nice 3-hour show. Guys, really? How many wrestling matches do you think they had in their 3+ hour television show? Wrestling show.
3 hours. It's 180 minutes.
I want to go with 7.
7's our first guess.
I'm going to say, I'll give them double digits. I'll go with 10.
10. Okay. That would be a good 3 hours. That feels about right. Right. You know,
I would think, right? I don't know.
Wade, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I didn't mute it. I was going to say, I think maybe let's go 3 hours.
Yep.
I'm going to go
3 hours with picture in picture, right? So even when they had commercials, the stuff was going. So
okay. Yeah, I was going to say 12.
12? You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
You're all very smart, but 4.
Oh.
4 matches in 3 hours. And this was when they were taking things seriously. This is when they were putting their best foot forward. Now, some of that has to do with The Rock showing up and never being able. I mean, the guy can barely show up to anything on time. It's a miracle that he was there on time. But of course, he ran long. Of course, John Cena comes out and talks for 20 minutes. So there were more than 4 matches scheduled. But also, you know, Hulk Hogan was booed out of the stadium, and that took Undertaker rode his motorcycle in. So it was more the spectacle. I think there was more time spent showing you the famous people that were in the stands than there were actually showing matches. But it wasn't the worst Raw I've ever seen. That's cool.
I heard CM Punk made an appearance as well.
CM Punk main evented the whole ordeal.
Oh wow!
How'd that make you feel, Ken?
Freaking Rollins, dude. I'm loving it, man. This guy somehow has managed. He's the biggest draw in the business. He's like 50-something years old. All he's done is talk shit about wrestling for the last decade, and then he comes back. He gets paid by Tony Khan. That's an absolute joke. Whatever happened there, he gets in a workplace argument, gets fired for it, goes on a podcast, talks about it, makes even more money, gets paid by the WWE to come back. And then after he's fired, AEW's biggest segment, the one that Tony Khan credits with his deal for WB, is just showing CM Punk fight Luke Perry's son backstage. Like, the dude is just, everything's coming up Millhouse for CM Punk. Like, no matter what he does, he cannot miss. Life just keeps going his way. I'm starting to think he might be Neo in this Matrix, guys. No, so I love it. I'm going to be talking about him for another year, I guess. You know, he's our generation's Ric Flair. He is never
never dying.
Oh man. So out of all of your special guest appearances on Monday night, who is your favorite out of everybody?
Okay. So we'll rank them just because there's only 4, so it's quick. John Cena, very bottom. Talked for too long. Everybody has known. I couldn't see him out there exactly. He had already made this same announcement 6 months ago, I think. So it was completely pointless for him to be out there and take up time. But it's not like he's been known to be a backstage politician and a bit of an asshole. So I mean, that's just keep doing your make-a-wishes, John, and it'll all come out in the wash. You know, you can't take that away from the guy. Yep. John's at the bottom. Undertaker right behind, because all he did was come in on his motorcycle, ride around the ring, and then go back up. And then leave. I can't imagine how much he must have gotten paid just to do that. Dude.
I just need you to drive in, drive out for us.
And we'll give you $10 million.
He got booed when he tried to force his way into WrestleMania. The audience revolted on him. He was getting booed constantly. So they pivoted. He turned heel. He beat up the now champion, cut his face, made him all bloody. And of course, he comes back for Raw, and he's congratulating the champion. You know, say hi to your mother for me. All kind, like he's trying to be a baby face again, a good guy in the business, and people torched him for that because the guy can't take any criticism. He has to be loved, even though for 20 years it was his job to get booed by these fans, and he was one of the best at it. But now he just cannot accept being booed, so he has to constantly try to reposition himself. He was also on NXT last night throwing a fit about how Twitter gave him shit about being a good guy. He went and ranted and went like 5 minutes just complaining about the way people talk about
throwing
him
a tantrum.
Yeah, he's just he is like up there with LeBron James. He's like the most self-conscious billionaire. Like I just can't imagine if I had that much money, like I would not give a fuck what anybody with 60 Twitter followers had to say about me. I cannot fathom what is wrong with these people. Their egos are so fragile. But that pales in comparison because The Rock getting booed out of the arena is old news. Hulk Hogan showing up to pitch his Real American beer and getting booed so loud that he forgot his promo and restarted it midway through. Like same lines, you know, I've had some great tag teams, brother. And it was hilarious. And all reports are that he did not react to it well. And I will just say this. A lot of people think that was a political thing. But as I already mentioned, The Undertaker was out at this show too, and he did not get booed. He got cheered. For those of you who don't know, those two are on the same side of the political spectrum. However, only one of them was caught on tape saying the N-word multiple times and being an overt racist. So if you really want to know why everyone's tired of Hulk Hogan's shit, it's right there, brother. It's not some red versus blue thing. It's a holy shit, this dude's an evil racist, and we've been sick of him since 1993 anyway. His shtick got old 30 years ago. We don't need to see it anymore. My God, quit whining. Although I honestly, I wish he would have came out in his MAGA Powers shirt, gentlemen, because he had the opportunity to be like Bret Hart in the 90s was a heel in America and the good guy in Canada, and in Europe it was this really weird otherworld thing where he was just an asshole to Americans, but that made everybody else like him. They could have done the same thing with Hogan, where red state, blue state, he comes out in his MAGA shirt. He either gets cheered or he gets booed. Either way, it makes money. But again, fragile old Hulk Hogan can't say his prayers and eat his vitamins and just get through it, brother, because reports are he's already pulled from making any more appearances. He got booed.
Wow.
He was out. His comeback lasted 2.5 minutes. And for that reason, that's my favorite. That had to be the best.
So hard, he lost future jobs.
That's brutal, dude.
Wow.
So if you ever had a bad day at work, know that even a real American gets fired occasionally.
That is gold.
Dang, dang, dang. Well, I think that does it for our Wrestling Minute.
Wrestling Minute, locked and loaded. It's always fun.
It was a good one to start on, for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
Definitely. So, I kind of want to go over to let you guys know, too. We got some upcoming shows coming up. Not for a little bit, not till February. We've got one coming up February 22nd. we'll be doing some boxing down up in Fostoria, venue 18. And then we will have an Upper Sandusky. We'll be up in March 21st doing some boxing there. And the next day, we'll have some MMA in Ottawa. So we're starting off a little hot here. We have a little bit of everything: some boxing, some MMA, and we'll have some pro wrestling coming here soon too, from what I hear.
Hey.
So we're taking that, filming that, and putting that on our page. So keep a lookout for, I guess, the new pro wrestling series that we'll have. I guess.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gonna make
Boyhood
Kevin
dream
real
come
happy.
true. I've been practicing. Been doing all my Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura research. It's gonna be great.
Really, he's been just jumping on tables and getting ready to go through one.
Yeah. I've
been
talked to
looking in
that
the
guy
mirror
too.
and saying, "Brother, alive."
Yep. And I've gone to a couple of ICP shows and a few Buffalo Bills games, so I'm ready. You can put me through all kinds of tables now.
Oh, all kinds. Okay, so we're gonna stack two of them on top of each other.
Perfect.
Just no light tubes, no long fluorescent light bulbs. That's where I draw the line.
Awesome. I guess that pretty much wraps it up. I'm co-founder of Carnage Media as well as Zach, and obviously you can find us all here on Wednesdays at 7:30 at Carnage Unleashed podcast. Where can they find you, Clayton, other than here on Wednesday?
Outside of here on Wednesday, you guys can find my Twitter, Twitter. Everybody calls it Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at cscalina12, Instagram at cscalina12, and my podcast, Hot Take Sports, at Hot Take Sports 16 on all of your social medias. Kev, where can we find you, all of our wrestling fanatics?
Well, that's right. Make sure you got notifications on, because I will continue to upload some Wrestling Minute videos. I don't know that I'll be going live. Might not have that much to say about the Squared Circle. But other than that, you can find me on a partner station of ours, Bite Size Sports, my lovely little sports podcast with my dear friends over there. It's a big crew, so I will spare you name dropping everybody, but we got NFL, fantasy football, NBA, and right now some college football. I had these two join me to talk college football earlier this week. So if you like live shows like this and want to talk about other sports, go hang out with us over at Bite Size Sports. And you can also find me on Monday nights and most Wednesdays immediately following this program. You can find me on the Dweeb Network talking about all kinds of comic books and movies on Monday. And on Wednesday, we talk Star Wars. So if you happen to be part of that Venn diagram that is a combat sports fan, but also a Star Wars fan, you might end up hanging out with me for a couple hours on Wednesday nights, but I'll leave that up to you. Zach, where else can they find you, good sir?
What? Here,
on the internet.
Just here. No, just here. Carnage Media. Anything on Carnage Media. Our Carnage Media YouTube, Facebook, Twitter/X. You can find us there. I think we even have an Instagram somewhere around there. So catch us on there. You can catch us, and we'll be giving you any updates with any other fights that we got coming up. Hopefully we'll have some interviews here too. So we'll give you guys all the details of all the local MMA and boxing and kickboxing.
Awesome. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in and asking questions. Until next time.
See you later.